Okay, good afternoon. Obviously, tough end of the game yesterday, and had a meeting with the players this morning. They came in, did their lifting, and worked with the performance staff. It's obviously very important to get their bodies right for this coming week, and that's a big part of it. And for us, it's about getting the mind right and the body right and the spirit right, and that's important. If 24-hour rules in effect, and obviously we have to do some things we got to clean up in the fourth quarter there, and that's an important part of that. It really comes down to details, and we talked about that with the players and the coaches during the team meeting. Some good things, that happened in the game. Since week 11, we had 12 interceptions, 14 takeaways, so that's a big positive for us going forward. We're going to need to do that in these next 3 games. Both lead the NFL in that stretch. A 4-game stretch with 2+ interceptions. That's been the first time since 2018. That's been really good. 14 points yesterday off of the turnovers, which is really good. I think we're really working our returns well. We're starting to get more yards on those. That's a definite improvement. We've outscored the opponents 39-0 in the third quarter of the last 5 games. And then obviously Tez. Tez has been really a big factor. Had a nice strip sack. That was good to see yesterday. Almost got that one on the side. So his career high, he got 2.5 sacks. He's got 12.5 for the season. Both lead, and obviously leading our team, which is excellent. With that, questions.
On that list, Matt, not a lot of offensive accomplishments the last couple of weeks. How do you fix it? Is it as simple as just working on technique, or from a coaching standpoint, what do you and Luke need to do to make sure you're in the right positions?
Yeah, it's imperative that we keep taking the shots down the field that we took yesterday. Obviously, we had one to Bobby. That was a big connect. It's important that we do that. That's a big part of it. We got DJ on the side. I think that was another big play. And then it's important we keep taking the shots down the field, because when you do that, you back people off. And it opens up the intermediate part of it. And you get people to play, more shell that way, and then we feel that can open up the run game for us too.
Matt, so why haven't those shots been taken more consistently in your mind?
Yeah, some of them aren't there. Some of them aren't there. Yesterday they were giving them to us. So when you take a shot, you always have release things down underneath, and sometimes we check those things down when they're not there. But you certainly have to take the opportunity. And you have to call the play.
And I know you said you had some calls you'd probably like to have back or whatever. Just curious, out of curiosity, on the 3rd and 15, what's the purpose of Justin Jones dropping into coverage in that play?
Yeah, so that's a pressure that you have a guy drop underneath there for the quick throw, and you're overloading the pressure, and you're expecting that to get home. And like I said last night, he retreated back, right, for a little bit deeper, and had a chance to float it over the top. And again, that was unfortunate. Again, like I said, it's a play that's designed to get the ball spit out fast and tackle them, and then get them to 4th down.
Did you regret that call? Is that one that you look back on wishing you had back?
Yeah, I've been calling defenses for 12 years, 13 years now. And every game you have 3 or 4 that you want back. So again, that one there, when it doesn't work in a critical situation, of course, you'd like to see it work, in that situation, but it didn't.
Matt, on the 4th and 1 where Justin Fields keeps the ball, what are the responsibilities for DJ Moore and Darnell Mooney? Is there an option for DJ to actually get a pass off?
Yeah, there's an option there for sure. It's really a pick play. Darnell's on the line. He's picking for DJ. DJ's, running his route. And then you got a run pass option on the edge. And it's a well-designed play. And, he decided to run it, and he got tripped up. He got tripped up at the point. And again, if he had more time and didn't have that defender, he ended up triggering. We could throw it over the top to DJ too.
Matt, you talked about it a little last night, but when you have players saying that they got too comfortable, or there was a lull in parts of the second half, what do you need to do as coaches to make sure that doesn't happen going forward?
It's to me, it's about season momentum. It's really about season momentum. And that play we just talked about, that 4th and 1, is a momentum play. We're there in their scoring zone, we're outside the kick line, and all of a sudden, we make that play. And then you go up, it's 20-7 or it's 24-7 at that time. So that was a momentum play, and those are the plays that we got to make. And those are the plays that like I said, it was a good call for that down, and we got to make those plays, and we just got to keep doing that. And you got to seize momentum. It's not about having a lull there and there. Momentum is going to shift back and forth, right? And we got to seize the momentum back. If the other team gets momentum, we got to seize it back, and that's what we talk to the players about.
Your responsibility is obviously overseeing the defense since you took over the coordinator roles. How do you manage to keep an effective pulse on what's happening within a game with your offense when you have to kind of obviously be part of the
Yep, that's a great question, and it's certainly justified, the question. But I will say this: that during the week, we start, on Monday, talking about the game plan, the opponent, the defense, that we're facing, and what do I see in terms of their coverage, their pressure package, and we go through in detail with Chris Morgan on the protections, with Getsy on play design. Talk about where the open pockets are in those defenses, in the run game and the pass game. Then we implement the first and second down plan. So I give my input there. I may see different plays that I look at, during the course of the week. That when I'm watching, hey, this is, and make a cut up and send it to those guys. So that's a big part of it. And then we work down the situations. And I do that every single day. So that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now to answer your question, during the game, it's important for me to stay in constant communication, obviously on the critical downs. And prior to that on Saturday, we go through all the, gotta have it's, starting at the goal line, go all the way through the fringe area, all the way to the quad zone. So we talk about all those and what the plays are and actually the designs and the ones I've seen in practice that I like and don't like. And then it's the same thing during the game. So hey, we're go for it here on 4th and 1 or 1 to 4 during in the quad zone. What are your plays? Gives me the plays. I give suggestions. Say, okay, yeah, I like that one. I like that one. And yep, and you feel confident about it? Yes, I do. Boom, let's go. So that's a constant communication as we're going through it. So the involvement, is there. I certainly have to, spend a little later nights at the office because I'm doing both jobs, and I welcome that. But again, the input's always there.
Matt, when you're talking about momentum and seizing it in the third quarter, when you have players come out and say that they felt they were just happy to be winning and then they were kind of going through the motions, how much of a responsibility is on the coaches to recognize that and get them going, and how much is on the players to feel that in the moment and say, hey, we gotta really lock back in here?
It's the momentum thing is all about execution, right? And it's about energy, right? And you got to have that in any part of the game, but you certainly have to have it at the end because the NFL is the NFL, right? And it's the way you finish that matters, right? It's a 2-minute, 4-minute. Last 2 weeks we did it right. Minnesota game, we finished it with a winning field goal. Against Detroit, we finished it with sacks and takeaways, right? So, it's all the games that we've won this year have all been executed the correct way, and then the ones that we didn't, you can point to the 2-minute, 4-minute, or the turnover margin, so those are really the factors that you have in winning in the NFL, so when you do it right, it is right. And the guys know that, and we can't, ever relax, with the mindset like that. And I don't believe our guys do that. In fact, I know they don't. So we just got to keep the hammer down.
On the 4th and 1 play you were talking about, the run pass option there. In that instance, it didn't seem like Mooney had any sort of way to compensate for the run blitz. Was that a product of miscommunication of Justin, or was it Justin reacting just to what he saw with the defender coming?
Yeah, there was the communication was fine. It was good. It was just it's man coverage, right? We jet motion. They bumped the coverage over. The safeties bumped it over. Actually, I think one of them should have spun to the middle of the field, but they didn't. There was nobody in the middle of the field. And then the guy that was on DJ ended up triggering on Justin. Justin saw it. Justin went for the line to gain, and Mooney tried to get a piece of him. And he got a little bit of him, and he ran on the route. So the execution was good.
Back to the shots downfield.
Yeah.
Did you feel like it seemed like in the first couple of drives you guys were dialing them up and they just weren't there? Did you feel like enough of them were called that just for whatever reason Justin was able to complete them, whether it was pressure? Like, were you happy with how many shots were called yesterday?
Yeah, I was. And it's all based on the coverage, right? If they're in their zone coverage and certain things are open that way, and I think we took some good inside fade type on man coverage. We just got to hit on those.
Matt, your locker room has held up strong through similar circumstances like this before, but frankly, yesterday the reaction just seemed like this was a different type of thing. Like the players who spoke and even those who didn't, it just indicated that this was a far greater sting. At this point of the season, with the playoffs a real long shot, how critical is it that you that there could be, that the bottom could fall out. And especially these 3 games, critical for you, your staff, and everybody. How important is it? How critical is it for your team, for you and your team at this point?
Yeah, really, it's just relying on the relationships of the men and the guy next to you. You know, so we believe in the man next to you, and that's so important for us. The relationship piece and how hard we work. You know, and the guys are tight, and we're just going to keep pulling together, and that's what we've been doing all along, and we're going to keep doing that, and that'll be evident in our work. Okay, that we put in for this week, and it'll be evident in the play we have on Sunday.
But because you're at this stage of the season, do you do anything in particular to make sure that that bond is still strong and that it doesn't weaken when you really don't need it to?
Yeah, it's not anything different. I mean, I'm gonna have a contact point and touch point with each guy every single week. I'm gonna talk to each guy man to man, look him right in the eye, and talk to him, see how he's doing. I might have more lengthy conversations with guys during the course of the week. I'll have my normal leadership council meeting that I have on Wednesday. I'll talk to those guys in depth, and we'll get a plan for the week in terms of how we're going to beat this opponent coming up, and again, the mindset that we have for our approach.
And on the Cooper touchdown, we talked yesterday obviously about the opportunity for an interception there, but after the catch, what was your coach's eye on obviously a ball that's completed at the 27 and the opportunity to get him down before he scores?
Yeah. So you know, that plays a deep crossing route, right? And you know, the corner's got to make a good vision and break, right? Break one third the distance when the ball's in the air, and we got to do a good job of getting them on the ground. A lot of times, what you do is you track the ball. Sometimes not understand where the reception area is, and they got to do a good job understanding where that is and get them on the ground.
Do you have an
Last one.
explanation as to why your short yardage was bad yesterday? I mean, you had the 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. You know, then the Justin rollout at the start of the 4th. It seems like the way your offense is built and you wanting to establish the run, that you guys should be built for those sorts of situations.
Yeah, again, it comes down to execution, right? It comes down to winning the line of scrimmage, and short yardage is always that. And when you have those plays, you got to win up front, and that's a big part of it. And you know, having the right push obviously is important, and design is also important too. You know, so it's all 3 factors.
In that short, when it took you 4 plays to go 1 yard, you went up the middle twice and nothing was happening. Did that scare you away from wanting to go up the middle later? You know, was that the root of some of the the
No.
fly sweep or anything?
No, it did not. It did not. It was good.
Thanks, man.
All right. Thank you. Y'all have a good day.